let's go to this great scholar and this great philosopher known as Allama al-Tabatabai in his tafsir known as Tafsir al-Mizan, to see what he also stated in relation to this verse about taqiyya.
الميزان في تفسير القرآن للعلامة سيد محمد حسين الطبطبائي الجزء الثالث volume 3 منشورات مؤسسة العالى للمطبوعات بيروت لبنان page number 177. This is the bone of contention. He said وفي الآية دلالة ظاهرة على الرخصة في التقية على ما روي عن أئمة أهل البيت عليهم السلام كما تدل عليه الآية النازلة في قصة عمار وأبويه ياسر وسمية. He said in this ayah there is a clear evidence and indication about the permissibility of taqiyya in the religion of Islam, and also the hadith narrations narrated from the imams of the Ahlul Bayt, imams from the immaculate household of the Prophet, all substantiate to the fact that taqiyya is permissible. And he said also the verse that was revealed about Ammar and his parents Yasir and Sumayya, it is also a verse that substantiates to the fact about the permissibility of taqiyya. And when we come down here, he said وبالجملة الكتاب والسنة متطابقان في جوازها في الجملة ولا اعتبار العقل يؤكده. He said in a nutshell, the Quran and also the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam both conforms to the permissibility of taqiyya in a nutshell, and also the intellect supports the permissibility of taqiyya. And he said إذ لا بغية للدين ولا هم لشارعه إلا ظهور الحق وحياته وربما يترتب على التقية ومجاراة مع أعداء الدين ومخالف الحق من حفظ مصلحة الدين وحياة الحق ما لا يترتب على تركها. He said the main purpose of the religion and the one who brought the religion, who is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is to keep the truth alive, and sometimes this purpose can be achieved by practicing taqiyya and by keeping the good relations with the enemies of the religion, whilst discarding taqiyya would serve no purpose at all.
As it was read from the book of Allama al-Tabatabai, Tafsir al-Mizan, we saw that Allama al-Tabatabai, he said that this verse is also a verse that permits the believers to take the disbelievers as inmates above the believers in times of hardship, in times of fear for their lives or property or their honor. So this verse is a clear verse that states about the permissibility of taqiyya according to Allama al-Tabatabai, and he stated it clear as you read from his book Tafsir al-Mizan. And also when we look at the book Tafsir Mawahib al-Rahman by Mawla Abdullah al-Sibzawari, he also stated similar words, saying that the verse in question is talking about taqiyya but nothing else. This is what he stated in his book known as Mawahib al-Rahman.
مواهب الرحمن في تفسير القرآن by السيد عبد الأعلى الموسوي السبزواري الجزء الخامس volume 5 page number 237. We can see here is discussing the verse about the verse of taqiyya. He said إلا أن تتقوا منهم تقات, except by taking precaution against them in prudence. So the next page we can see here, this is what he said, page number 238. When we come down, this is the bone of contention. He said ولا ريب في جواز التقية. He said there is no doubt about the permissibility of taqiyya in the religion of Islam. بل أنها من القواعد المسلمة لدى الجميع. He said rather it is among the most acceptable principles in the religion of Islam according to all. والمرتكزة في الأذهان ولا تحتاج إلى إقامة البرهان. He said, and it is among the well established principles within each and everyone's mind, and this does not even need a constant or a special evidence or proof for that. He said, لأنها كما عرفت من صوريات قاعدة تقديم الأهم على المهم. He said, because as you have known, the principle of taqiyya, it is under the principle that says giving preference to the most important to the less important, giving preference to the most important to the less important. And he said, التي هي من القواعد الفطرية. He said, whilst this principle, giving preference to the most important to the less important, is a principle which is also among the human inbuilt principles. It is fitrah, the human inbuilt principles. And he said, وَقَدْ قَرَّرَتُهَا السُنَّةُ, and the sunnah, the ahadith, the narrations of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wa alihi and the A'imma alayhimus salam, they have also established to this effect.
It is very clear that Sayyid Abdul Ali Sibzawari, he stated in this book, Mawahib al-Rahman, that the permissibility of taqiyya is very clear, and this verse is a verse which substantiates to the permissibility of taqiyya. But what he added to it is the further step he took in relation to substantiating the permissibility of taqiyya. He said taqiyya is something which is very acceptable, and it is acceptable in each and every generation. And he said it is among one of the most important and popular principles in the religion of Islam, or even within the human intellect. What is this principle? They are the qawa'id al-fitriyya. They are among the human inbuilt principles. Furthermore, dear brothers and sisters in Islam, let's go to the book of this great scholar who is currently alive, Ayatollah 𝐇𝐀𝐅𝐈𝐃𝐔𝐙-𝐍𝐶𝐂 Hafizahullah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to see what he stated in his book in relation to the verse and the discussion.
الأمثل في تفسير كتاب الله المنزل مع تهذيب جديد by العلامة الفقيه المفسر الشيخ ناصر مكارم الشيرازي دام الله بقاؤه، الجزء الثالث volume 3 منشورات مؤسسة الأعلى للمطبوعات بيروت لبنان. Page number 207. This is the verse of Makarim al-Shirazi. So he is also explaining the verse of taqiyya. You can see إلا أن تتقوا منهم تقات. He said هذا استثناء من الحكم المذكور، وهو أنه إذا اقتضت الظروف التقية فللمسلمين أن يظهروا الصداقة لغير المؤمنين الذين يخشون منهم على حياتهم. He said this is an exceptional to the aforementioned ruling. And he said, and it says that if situation leads to taqiyya, then the Muslims should outwardly show love and friendship to the non-believers, to the disbelievers, in order to protect their lives from being tampered with, or in order to protect themselves and the people they love. When we go to the next page, we can see what he said. Page number 209. He said here, وَيَتَّضِحْ مِمَّا تَقَدَّمَ أَنَّ التَّقِيَّةَ هي أصل قرآني مسلم به. He said, and it has become clear after the above discussion that taqiyya is having its root from the Quran. It is a root from the Quran ولكنها تكون مشروعة في موارد معينة ووفق الضوابط خاصة. And he said, but taqiyya it becomes permissible under situations and circumstances, and also under conditions, under certain and special conditions. And the following sentence, he is going to refute the people that they say that, oh, taqiyya is only for the Shias. It is only the Shias who practice taqiyya. What did he say? He said, وَمَا نَرَى مِنْ بَعْضِ الْجُهَلَاءِ أنهم تصوروا أن التقية من اختلاقات أتباع أهل البيت عليهم السلام فهو دليل على عدم اطلاعهم على القرآن بصورة كافية. He said, and what we have seen, or we've had people saying, those ignorant people saying that, oh, taqiyya is among the concocted beliefs of the followers of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. He said, whoever you hear him saying these kind of words, such words, you should know that that person, he is not having enough knowledge about the Quran, and he is totally ignorant of the knowledge of the Quran.
Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, we saw that this great scholar, Ayatollah 𝐇𝐀𝐅𝐈𝐃𝐔𝐙-𝐿 Hafidhahullah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he stated explicitly that the Quran, this verse under discussion, it talks about the permissibility of taqiyya in the religion of Islam. Therefore, taqiyya is having a root from the Holy Quran, and that is Quran chapter 3 verse number 28. So this verse is a decisive verse, non-ambiguous verse in relation to the permissibility of taqiyya according to this great scholar. At this juncture, dear brothers and sisters in Islam, we can see that we have answered the question we asked initially, that whom among the scholars of tafsir have ever stated that this verse is a verse that conforms to the application or the permissibility of the application of taqiyya. We have given about 5 different scholars from the Shia school of thought. For example, Mawlid Fayd al-Kashani, Allama al-Tabatabai, and also Ayatollah 𝐇𝐀𝐅𝐈𝐃𝐔𝐙-𝐿 and the rest, the people, these great scholars, Allahu maqamahum, that we mentioned, that they all stated it clear explicitly that this verse under discussion, it talks about nothing but the permissibility of taqiyya in the religion of Islam. Hence, we end this episode here, and in the next episode we will go through the tafasir books of our brethren, the Ahl Sunnah, to see what their scholars also stated in relation to this verse under discussion. But I can promise you one thing, that all these scholars, they conform to what the scholars of the Shia said in relation to this verse under discussion, which is the verse has nothing to talk about but the permissibility of taqiyya. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.